Myself and someone were having an argument here, and we just wanted to hear your perspective. Like, what? Are you serious? That was why you called at about 2 a.m. What do you think will be the response going forward if I'm to see your call even at 10 p.m. in the night? I wouldn't pick up. What a beautiful day it is today. Like, it's so beautiful. Hello lovelies, hello beautiful people, you're welcome to my channel once again. My name is Gloria. If you're new here, you are absolutely welcome. You're welcome to RIA'S coming. And for all my returning viewers, you're the real MVP. Man, thank you so much. You know, the vibe here is always happy. You know, RIA'S cabin is stemmed from joy, so it's always from the joy within. Okay, so let's just run straight into the topic for today, which is respect. Let's talk respect. There's so many directions and so many ways to apply respect, and there's just one way that I'm going to discuss it from the perspective of people's time as an individual or as a parent. Respect could be you admiring someone, your admiration for someone, or due regards that you give to someone based on the qualities that the abilities they possess, and maybe their characteristics or achievements. You know, you respect people on so many levels. The point I'm going to be coming from is you giving due regards to people's wishes, to people's rights, and to people's desires. From the point of mutuality, you not wasting someone else's time, and in reverse, right, they treat you the same way. They see that you don't waste their time, they wouldn't waste your time as well. One thing about myself is whenever I listen to a message or points like this, right, and topics like this, I try to put myself in that position. I try not to say this point will fit my husband. I think he's the one that used to do this one. I don't do blame games, and I don't blame other people except myself. No, I try to put myself in that position. So whenever points like this come, just look at it from within and say, oh, am I guilty of this? Am I guilty of that? How can I stop this and how can I stop that? You know, number one, when you call someone and you know that it is late, you've looked at the time and it is late, first thing you say is, apologize. I am sorry for calling you at this time. You know, respect the family of the called. Respect the family of the receiver, the person that you called, right? And look at it from the perspective of it is an unplanned call. This person was not expecting my call. So first of all, apologize. It shows that respect this person. Don't say, hello, how far now? How you doing? Hello, I'm calling. No. Don't just jump in like that. Number one, apologize and say, I'm sorry for calling by this time. You know, depend on your relationship anyways. It doesn't also matter if the both of you are tight friends and all of that, especially if you're calling someone that is married. A married woman, a married man, always apologize, okay? Number two, go straight to the point. When you call someone and you say, oh, after now you've apologized and all of that, give them the reason. Tell them the reason why you called. You say, this is the reason I'm calling. I'm calling just to tell you that I won't be present tomorrow. I'm calling just to tell you that I will be late coming to the meeting, right? Go straight to the point. Except they are your spouse or your best friend or someone really close, don't go about jumping from one topic to the other. Don't start saying, oh, this is the reason you called, after you finish talking about that. Hey, did you hear about this other thing? And you start going on and on and on. Don't forget, it's a privileged call. The person picked up the call out of trust and said, oh, this person really calls me by this time. Okay, let me pick it up. Don't let the person lose that trust for you. So whenever you call someone, try and go straight to the point. Don't jump from one topic to another. If you do that, hey, trust me, the person would avoid your call. Even though it's convenient, they won't pick the call because they feel like you're going to waste their time. Okay? Time, remember, is money. Money. I have a rule, like I think my husband and I, we have a rule when we call people. If you're a single, depends on how serious the thing is, we may call you max 8:30 or 9, right? And depends on our relationship with you as well. But if you're married, even 8 p.m. we start saying, is it a good time to call someone? 8 p.m. is late. So this person is married, the wife needs him, the husband needs her. You know, it's about us classifying when and when to call or when not to call. It doesn't matter if we're close to the person, we tend to put that, as a perspective to look at, should we call now or not, So it's all about you respecting people. It doesn't matter whether they're younger than you, whether they're older than you. Respect. The person is married, even more. Number 3, you met your secondary school friend long time ago. You guys have not talked in a long time, and finally you just met the person and you're like, oh, let's get a number, let me take your number and all of that. Yes, going forward, you call this person. Remember, your friendship doesn't matter if both of you have been friends for ages. Now you're meeting again. It's starting afresh. Don't just assume that you're going to start a relationship from where you stopped. No, years have gone by. So all you have to do is, once you call someone and it's been ages since you last spoke, go straight to the point. How are you? It's been so long. Are you fine? How is the family? If there is a family. And remember, how is the family? It's another topic. It's general, it's general. How is the family? Everybody has a family by the grace of God, right? You come from somewhere. Don't go and say, are you married? Are the children? Don't just assume that someone is married and have children. You may put the person in a tight spot. So that's another topic for another day. Remember, the key point is you are not starting the relationship from where you're not continuing your relationship. You have to build from scratch, but that is not the day you build from scratch. Okay, just say, how are you? How have you been? Hope everything is fine. It's been so long. We'll catch up some other time. I just said I should call you and check on you. The person is going, I will respect you for that. Like, I will respect you for not taking so much time on the phone, right? Giving me time with my family, because you don't know how my schedule is like. You don't know what I'm doing at that moment, So that shows respect. Number 4, if you know it is not life-threatening, this thing that you're going to call for, you're going to talk to this person about, it is not an emergency, drop a text message, drop a voice note, drop a message, just drop a message. Okay, thank God for WhatsApp messages. Yeah, in that way, you're respecting that person's time and just telling the person, hey, this is important. Yes, I would like to hear, please get back to me on this. Drop an email. Thank God for WhatsApp that is cheap and direct there for you. You can just easily drop a message with someone. Please drop a message. It will go a long way to show that you respect that person's time. Besides, you don't want to just keep calling someone all the time for every little bit call. Doesn't matter your relationship with the person, except you're married. If it's my husband, I can call you 100 times a day. Even at that, I still respect my husband's time when he's at work. I don't call all the time, I call once in a while, and he does the same as well. I may just assume that I may be busy with the kids or something else, cooking or whatever. Learn to drop messages for people once you know it's not an emergency. Number 5, don't call too early, don't call too late. Too early for me, 7 a.m. Now, let me use this example. Pastor Kingsley Okonkwo is a marriage, relationship expert. He said there was this time a couple, they were already was counseling them, right? This man called him at about 7 a.m. in the morning to complain about his wife on phone. Like, 7 a.m. Who does that? If it's an emergency, why not? By all means, please call. But if it's not your spouse and it's not an emergency, don't call too early. The rule is, at least officially, some offices opens at 9 o'clock, 8 o'clock. I don't know. I've forgotten what time banks open. I think here is around 8, 9ish in the morning, right? For me, the rule of thumb is when the banks are open, that is a good time to start calling people. So you can feel, if you think around your area 8 o'clock, then of course people may be up already. That is just my own rule of thumb. You don't have to use it, but it's what I use. And if it's 8, like in the evening, my rule of thumb is, okay, number 1, let's look at the daylight outside. Is it still bright? If it's summertime, for example, I know summer over here, summer like 9 o'clock is still bright. Sometimes 9:30, 10 o'clock is still bright. But depends on my relationship with that person. If it's 9 p.m. and it's still bright, I feel, maybe this person will stay. The person may likely be awake. Why not? That's for summer. But in winter, when everywhere is getting dark, I may even give you max 7 p.m. I don't call anymore. There are some persons that are early birds. They like to go to bed early, so don't call too early, don't call too late. it shows that you respect, you value what is important to that person, you value their time. All I'm talking about in this part is time, and you being courteous enough to give regards to their wishes and their rights. After all, it's my right. I may not want to answer your call, but if I feel that you respect me enough and you follow due diligence, you call me when it's not too late, what's my reason for not picking up your call, or what's my reason for not attending to you? This also goes to say, don't visit people too early, don't visit people too late. If you're visiting someone, give them, it's part of courtesy. Oh, I'm coming over. Now you've called them, you're coming over. If you say you're coming around 12 o'clock, try to keep to 12 o'clock. I think the standard is maybe 30 minutes before, 30 minutes afterwards. So you can say, I'm coming around 12-ish. 12-ish, maybe it could be like 11, and you don't have to go by 11:30. Between maybe 11:45, you should be there, or 12:15 or 12:30 at most, you should be around there. Just around that time, it also shows that you respect yourself, and you can give boundaries to people. And once you're done visiting, pack your load and don't spend too much time. It shows you respect people's time and their space. Okay? Number 6, study time zones. It still goes to my number 5, where it says don't call too late, don't call too early. Now, for example, one night my husband's phone rang around 2 a.m. in the night. Guess what? He didn't pick the call. Of course, it was upsetting because he's sleeping around 2 a.m. Who called? Someone from Nigeria. Then Nigeria and UK were still on the same time zone. Even now, there's not much difference. It's just 1 hour time zone, right? But we are still on the same time zone. This person called about 2 a.m. in the morning when he was sleeping. Of course, he was upset. My husband was really upset. In the morning, when he called back and was like, what's the reason for you calling me by that time? And he was like, oh, myself and someone were having an argument here, and we just wanted to hear your perspective. Like, what? Are you serious? That was why you called at about 2 a.m.? What do you think will be the response going forward if I'm to see your call even at 10 p.m. in the night? I wouldn't pick up. Just shows that maybe this person is just going to play with me or waste my time on the phone, waste my airtime, waste my talk time, my saliva, and everything, So always study people's time zone. If you're calling someone in America, study the time. What's the difference between the UK and America? What's the time difference? Am I going to call when they're sleeping? Am I going to call when it's late or they're at work? Always study people's time zone. Have it, at the back of the mind, especially if you're going to call that country. If you're in the same time zone, even better, right? Even though it's an emergency, if I can't physically help you at that moment, I can't physically be there and maybe take you to the hospital or do something. Of course, there are different types of emergencies, right? Maybe it could just be an information that I need at the moment, right? If I'm not there physically and I can't do it because of the distance, respect my time and drop a message, because I can't even run to you at that moment. Okay, so yeah, let's learn to respect people's time. 7 is, if you're going to call a mom, you're going to call a dad at night. When I say at night, I'm using it loosely, right? As from 8 p.m, 9 p.m, most parents are already putting their babies to sleep. They're putting their babies to bed. So if you're going to call, try and drop a message not everybody likes putting their phone on silence. I don't like putting my phone on silence. I rarely do if I'm going to be expecting a call from you, then I know how to handle my phone or put it on vibration. I'm expectant of that call. So if you're going to call a parent, right, either tell them beforehand or drop a message. Is it okay if I call you at this point? I really need this information at the moment, or there's something I need to ask you, or there is just something I need your input on. Drop a message. You don't know if they're putting that baby to sleep and your phone is just going to wake them up. There are some kids that to put them off to bed, you're like, take it, Jesus, he's already sleeping, and then you just wake them. It's all about you being more respectful of people's time. If you will be late for a meeting, tell someone. Have an alibi. If it's something that you cannot really avoid, traffic, an emergency that came through, right, and you know that you can avoid it, have an alibi. Someone that would corroborate your story. Not that you should have an alibi just because you intentionally want to be late and you let someone know that, please, I'm going to be late, there's traffic, even though you could have beat the time. No, have an alibi when you think you cannot work around your lateness. Be punctual. Punctuality, like my secondary school English teacher will always say, is the soul to business. Punctuality is the soul to business. So for any thriving business or anything that needs to go well or that would progress, positively, time needs to be managed. My husband is a Mr. Time Manager, a Mr. Time conscious person. He is always conscious of time, and once he always tries to keep his end of the bargain. Sometimes, like, take it easy. My husband will be at that event, that place, 15 minutes at a time, 20 minutes at a time, sometimes even 30 minutes at a time, because he always wants to beat. He doesn't want to hear that he was the reason why the meeting didn't start on time. And he hates this African time mentality where people go late to events. Absolutely not him. So if you want a meeting to go smoothly, right, respecting people's time means starting a meeting on time, you getting there on time, and ending the meeting on time, right? At least what I try to do is, if I say, oh, this meeting is going to end by 1 o'clock, I try to make sure I run around 1 o'clock. I don't want to be the reason why it extends. So if it extends and I know, okay, many other persons are contributing and bringing their point, and then I'm like, okay, 1 o'clock, it's time, but can we continue another 20 minutes just because we need to, like, have all these points together? But I try not to be the reason why I ended the meeting late. All right, next point. Allow others speak. How you respect people's time is, like I said, on a mutual ground. It's mutuality, it's mutual respect. If you expect that you go to somewhere and yes, you ought to be listened to, and you were never given a chance to speak, would you appreciate your time in that place? No, you feel like you just wasted your time. You went in for someone to feed you garbage, just absolute garbage. No, it's best that you allow others speak. And sometimes, sincerely, people enjoy their time more when they feel like their input was felt, right? So they feel more productive when they feel that little idea that they had was contributed, was accepted, in the meeting. So allow others speak, and you'll be so amazed of how productive it will end up. And everybody leave there feeling fulfilled. Their time was spent well, and everybody went home happy. So allow others speak. Next point, don't create a false deadline. If you think that your team is not producing enough, your team are not doing well, and time is running, be honest. There's nothing as wonderful as honesty. Although I know that there are employees that don't care, whether you tell them this deadline is going to run out in a month's time, they will still be late in delivering what they need to do, their assignment, right? But being honest also goes a long way, that they feel, oh, this man, this woman, my boss, my manager has really been open. I think I owe them the responsibility of delivering on time. If you create false deadlines, some persons are not good in working under pressure, and you may not get the best. So respect people's time, the time that they use in putting all their energy into a work that is going to be submitted in 2 weeks time, but you told them, oh, in the next 4 days, you may not get the best. They've worn themselves out, they've not slept well, their family has suffered, and all of that. You may not get the best. So please don't create false deadlines. If you think that people need to be more responsible, come clean and be honest to them. Lastly, if a program, an occasion, or whatsoever, an event, right, that you are heading, you are in charge of, if you think that you're going to cancel or there's just no way it's going to happen on that date, you've cancelled. Now, don't hesitate to let every other person involved know. As so many persons are a part of the team, try and tell them on time. Don't feel that, oh, I'll let them know in a week's time. The program is supposed to be in 2 weeks time. You've cancelled today, you have 2 weeks to go. Don't hesitate to let your team know, subordinates, your workers, your partners. Don't delay in letting them know that this event has been cancelled or is being postponed to a month's time, or in a year's time, or 6 months time. They would respect you for it if you tell them. Remember, they have a life as well. So I'm sure, definitely, whenever there's an event, right, they've cleared their schedule. That period has been, it's clear. No meeting, no whatsoever, no vacation, no nothing, no traveling. But if you tell them on time, right, there may be something that they will just put in there. You know, I feel like, oh, this event has been cancelled, I might as well travel, I might as well do something else. Some don't be selfish to the point of feeling like if I tell them they're going to travel out, if I tell them they're going to relax, and you leave them until it's almost like 2-3 days at the time, and you tell them, oh, the meeting was cancelled suddenly. It doesn't show honesty on your part. Remember, we're talking about mutuality. You'll be happy if someone else did that same thing to you. I doubt, you know, I really doubt, especially when they find out that this was what you did and you cancelled on time, they will not forgive you. I pray that God will give us more wisdom to be considerate and how to respect people even more. That brought me to the end of the episode. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time. If you haven't subscribed, if you watched to the end, then it means you should try and be a part of this family. What do you think? Alright, please do subscribe. Click on the like button, and that is how you help us and you help this ministry to thrive. Remember, this channel is all about blessing people. Bye. Thank you so much for watching.